So basically, throughout the history of private servers and also recently in Classic, there's always been this hype around fresh server, and it's just such an amazing experience to be a part of when everything's set to zero, when everyone starts with nothing. There's a big sense of community. There's a big amount of hype around progressing your character. There's always been this hype around fresh, and we saw it recently with the anniversary realms that Blizzard recently made. The problem is that if you do such a thing on Turtle WoW, you're eventually going to fragment the community, which is really, really bad, because an MMO is, of course, about lots and lots of players. There's no massive multiplayer if there are no other players to play with. But I do think that if Turtle WoW were to announce a fresh server, it would bring a ton of hype and a lot of people who were probably on the fence on trying it, because both realms are progressed as it is right now. Both the PvE and the PvP realms are progressed, and it's not funny to join a game where you feel like you're so far behind, right? If you jump into a battleground, you're gonna get crushed by people who are just way more geared than you. And also just the accessibility. You could go straight from level 60 to Naxxramas if a guild who are raiding Naxxramas took you under their wing and just say, okay, if you could dedicate yourself to the game, then we'll gear you in a few runs. Which of course is both good but also bad. You know, some people might like that, and to each their own. My proposal is that they should make it fresh, but they should do it on a different timeline. And here's what I mean by that. So say they make a fresh server, and say it's a PvE with the ability to opt in for PvP, exactly as Nordrona is right now, mainly a PvE server with the ability to opt in for PvP via a glyph. Because maybe that's the most popular, at least with the current Turtle WoW community, that is the most popular game mode. I myself, as some of you probably know, am mostly a PvPer. But the PvP server didn't really get the traction it deserved. One of the biggest reasons were Season of Discovery came, and a lot of people went to Season of Discovery to try out Blizzard's version of a Classic Plus, which utterly failed, of course. And that's left the PvP server in a bit of a poor state. I think there's around 600, 700, 800 people concurrently playing on the server, which isn't bad for people who like a smaller community. That's perfectly fine for a small server. You can get into your raids, and there are some PvP, of course, but who wouldn't have wanted to see that server be a lot bigger? But now that there's a new PvP server on Turtle WoW has run its course, they are at Naxxramas, endgame is there. My proposal is that if Turtle WoW were to make a new server, they should do it in a little bit of a different way, right? They should, as I alluded to before, make a new server and put it on a slightly faster timeline, so this server catches up to the current server in terms of content. And as soon as this new fresh server has caught up to the current server, whichever they choose, at the end, as soon as that new server has caught up with the old one, content-wise, raid-wise, they merge them together, so you don't fragment the community. So say you give people the option to migrate, or you do a forced migrate. Everyone will have their character moved to the main server, and the new current server, the fresh server, gets shut down while we wait for another fresh rinse repeat. So on a 1 year, 2 year, whatever cadence works, they make a fresh server. They keep making a new fresh server on a cadence that works for the Turtle WoW team and that works for the community, of course. And at the end of each server's lifespan, they merge the servers. And I know that Turtle WoW is an ongoing server with lots of progression. That's why I think it needs to be on a faster timeline, and that timeline probably needs to be some things need to be thought about, right? Because some servers, let's say we put the cadence on a 1 year, right? It takes 1 year to reach Naxxramas, but now you have all the new content that Turtle WoW has made, and those raids are coming out after Naxxramas. well, then of course you're gonna have to increase the lifespan of the server, but that's where you can change the cadence of the server, how fast it progresses through the content. That would be one option. I can think of many things that could make this work in the end. And if you have any suggestions, put them in the comments below. The main point is that they could really capitalize on a recurring, fresh server without fragmenting the community. And that's pretty much my proposal. That's my idea. I think it would breathe a lot of new life into Turtle WoW, and it would create a lot of hype. Also, just knowing that, okay, if I missed out this time around on a fresh server, then there's a new one coming in, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years down the line. You always know that, okay, there is another opportunity to start over on a fresh server. And I did actually make a poll a month ago or so, where I asked the TurtleWatch community if TurtleWow were to launch a new server, should it be a PvP server or a PvE server, where PvP is optional through war mode, just like it is on Nordrunner right now. And the vast majority voted for a PvE server. I think the reason why is because already TurtleWow has also really garnered a PvE community. So of course, the majority of people watching my content are PvEers. But there's nothing wrong with that. But I also got other suggestions, which would be a separate hardcore server, separate from the regular ones. And indeed, that could be an idea. But again, the problem here is now you're also separating, fragmenting communities. A lot of what makes Turtle WoW feel so alive, especially in the early levels, and make every zone feel alive, is that there are hardcore people running around constantly trying to get to level 60. And I know you can't interact with those people in group settings wise or trade wise, but they are running around, they are making the server feel a lot more alive. So I'm not sure I fully agree on separating hardcore from non-hardcore players. I think what they have right now works perfectly fine. It's easy to see who's a hardcore. It says still alive right under their name, and it just makes it so that the servers feel more alive. But having a reset of the economy and everything else, it usually comes along with a lot of hype, and a lot of people who were on the fence might probably join Turtle WoW just to check it out, and then maybe they'd stay around. So that's it, guys. That's my proposal. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know, and give me your reasons why. If you like my content, consider subscribing, and then I will see you in the next video.